What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch in the Rube, our Monday afternoon show presented by our friends at Comcast and Xfinity. 5 years, no contracts, peace of mind for your future self. Simple and seamless, just as Wi-Fi should be. Data, equipment, everything you needed included. No contracts, no catch, just a connection, plus unlimited mobile line included for 1 year, $55 a month. What I love about Xfinity Comcast and my Xfinity cable is I'm not even hooked into the wall. I stream it, right? So I want to move TVs around the house, just like streaming anything else. I'm able to have all my cable with me, like, you know, my mother's visiting. I want the TV up in the office, so I have some peace and quiet, right? I can take the TV up there. I've got Xfinity. I've got all my channels. I've got my Tigers games. I've got my Mexican soccer, everything I need at my fingertips, wherever I want it in the house with Xfinity. Go to Xfinity.com. Find the offer for you today. Jason, how you doing, brother?
I will. Anyway,
I mean, I felt all of Fred Human.
hey man,
How you doing?
that was a funny visual. You getting your TVs all around.
You know what? So my mom's having knee replacement surgery tomorrow, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
Like
big,
full knee or like partial?
I don't. I
It's
think
full.
it's full. Full knee. Yeah, she's
I had
out-
a partial and that was brutal. So
Yeah, it's gonna be quite a process. She's staying at our house in the den, so she can have the. You know, doesn't have stairs, and she has her own bathroom downstairs, and so we've been getting the house ready for that. And so that's. But
how long is she going to be there?
My sister's coming this weekend, so she's the
this
reprieve. She's the reprieve. Hopefully, by then she'll be able to go upstairs at least once a day. And
So your mom is going to stay until this weekend.
yeah,
Okay. It's not too bad.
it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It could be fine. My wife's out of town.
You always
which
talk
helps.
about how glowingly about your guys' walks and stuff. So I just figured out you could just bring it indoors. So the wife is not going to be there.
for most of it. She's conveniently out of town for work. Right. Yeah.
Good job, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Smart. Good play. Good play.
Just happened to plan that out like that.
Yeah,
Huh?
well played. Yes. I think she decides her own schedule too, so I'm not quite sure how that actually.
That's
how that
pretty
actually
brilliant.
works. Yeah. It's.
I got to say, I would have tried the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, knee replacement for an older lady.
I prefer it that Elizabeth's gone, by the way, during this, because it's just not going to be fun around the house. I mean, my mom's going to be in pain. I'm going to be helping her out. She's going to have a friend staying overnight a couple times with us too, just so somebody's like in the room with her. If she needs to go to the
So
bathroom.
not only do you have mom, you have a friend, her friend staying.
yeah,
Oh, just in case anything goes down.
in the middle of the night.
Right.
Yeah. We thought about getting her a bell, but I thought that would.
Well, for the friend.
Well,
and the friend needs to know when to, help her out with the bathroom in the middle of the night, so she might need.
Well, we're gonna get her. She's gonna be in like a cot right next to the bed we have for my mom. It's be quite a process. I had to move my treadmill out of the room, so the treadmill's in the living room. Oh, it's quite a house.
Lube
right now.
everywhere.
Lube everywhere.
Sorry, Mom. This is not real lube. This is treadmill lube.
This lube discussion actually came up yesterday because we were talking about that we got the den ready where the treadmill was. We have a fold out couch that's really nice. We got it all, the whole area. Anyway, really nice for her. And
you're putting Mom on the pullout?
Well, it's a really nice pull-out couch. And it's what we have downstairs. Otherwise, we could pull a mat, But yeah, it's a really nice pull-out couch. Anyway, you don't feel like the bar in the middle of your back or anything. This is like a really, really, really fancy Pilgrim House style, or something like that. Anyway,
what a great son you are, though.
But so I moved the treadmill out, and that was my wife's first thing. She's like, "Don't let lube drip all over the floor because your mom's gonna have like one good leg, and you don't need her sliding around on lube in the room." And breaking her other knee or whatever, or setting back the surgery. So this was a concern that was had.
Yeah, doctor, we have to explain this to you somehow. I don't know how my mom fell after the surgery, but let's just say
story worth telling.
I'm always on the treadmill. If you need to know, and the lube just went everywhere, and Mom slipped and fell. Thank God her friend was sleeping right next to her. Dude, so what are you going to do at night?
I'll be upstairs.
Oh,
sleeping.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. No, I do think.
Shout out to Elizabeth though. She's the real winner here. And she got out of there.
And she also did. I mean, she did yeoman's work, like making things spick and span. It's somebody else who's
well, when you're getting out of there, it's easy to clean.
Right. That's fair.
You know what I mean? You get out of there, be like, hey, the place is clean. Grandma, I'll see you later.
If my mom falls,
have fun with the Golden Girls.
If my mom falls, it'll at least be a story worth telling. Presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing. Awesome place to take
people
your mother.
Fall around you though.
Take your mother of any age. Fantastic menu. Great lunch, dinner spot. Any occasion, including trivia on Tuesday nights. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. You ready to dig in?
I don't know. Does anybody have any? Do we have any people that wrote in today? I mean, Jesus Christ, we have a new July topic for years and years to come. So that's a great sign, right? Scotty? Scotty versus Tiger.
Yeah.
Is Scotty the next Tiger? I mean, yes, right now, I don't think so. But, I mean, if he does another season of this, then we could start. I mean, it's going to be a July topic from here until Scotty retires, I think.
Or
unless he has all of a sudden, yeah. But
what if you
see that happening?
Well, Dustin Johnson fell off pretty.
But Dustin Johnson has other, his idea of fun is my idea of fun, and I don't know how long that is for when you're on the PGA Tour / Live Tour doing other things like Dustin Johnson does. Scotty Scheffler likes to go home, has a pizza, a cookie, some milk, goes to bed. Can't wait to see his baby in the morning. So he's not like partying or anything. He's a people's champion.
So my question with him, and don't get me wrong, it's been a 2-year run of dominance that's been Tiger-like. And the way he's become a force is.
The stats are crazy right now.
Yeah. The thing is, he's already 29. Tiger started earlier. So I think there are two components to this. In terms of run of dominance, we have not seen anything like it since prime Tiger. But in terms of like getting to 14 majors, the amount of time that would take and the length of good health and good fortune and being at the top of your game, and eventually Tiger broke down too with his body. But like to me,
he has 15 majors.
Is that what Tiger has? 15.
You're right. Remember 2019 he won Masters, so that was 15.
Let's say to me, once you cross the halfway threshold and you're below 35 years old, then we have the discussion about. So if he gets to 8, so what is he, 29 now? So he's very. I mean, if he keeps playing like this, he'll do it.
Looks like he's 37, but yeah.
But if he gets to 8 by the time he's 35, and so you still have prime golf years left, and you're at 8, and you've done a lot of it in the previous like 8 years.
Well, he has 17 wins on the PGA Tour, and Tiger had 82. So there's that as well. I know the majors are. And even Scotty Scheffler, to his credit, was like, what are you guys talking about? I'm not even close to fucking Tiger. I mean, some of the, the way that he strikes the ball, I mean, he's obviously putting up numbers that are Tiger-esque, especially since 2020. I mean, 111 under par in majors since 2020. 46 shots better than anyone else in that span. I mean, yeah, the numbers right now. But if you want to sit there, and I think people just forget. If you want to, my Instagram is nothing but Tiger Woods highlights and other golf stuff and some baseball card shit. So I just constantly see old school Tiger Woods highlights. Go back and check out Tiger Woods. It was just, I don't think there will ever be like someone said this morning, he's one of one. And I don't know why we have to do this. I guess it's because it's this profession, this
we look
podcasting,
for this stuff.
sports radio thing of
100%.
And I just think that it's farther away than you really think if you break it down if you look at inside of Tiger's 82 wins and the 15
But I
majors.
think it is fun we want to see greatness. We want to see, I mean, obviously we want drama in these.
I did yesterday. I had Fitzpatrick at 55-1, even though he faded out. But, man, it would have been interesting if Scheffler wasn't playing whatsoever. That would have been a fun leaderboard.
So I did okay on my bets because I took Scheffler.
Nice.
Plus 460.
Smart.
And I'm just going to do that every time, by the way, now, because here's the thing. Here's what I love about betting Scheffler. And this is even if he loses. The man is unflappable. And because of that, he is calming. If you've got money on him, it's a calming thing. Right. Like in yesterday, just watching him just sort of truck through, like you don't worry about him sort of losing his shit out there or anything like that. Now, I did.
And that's the shades of Tiger that you would see because like he double bogeyed on 8 and then birdied 9. And he's got a 36% chance bounce back rate. That's what they call after you make a bogey or higher. What do you do after that? And Scotty Scheffler just bounces back like nothing happened.
And it was like more than 30 holes since he'd bogeyed when that happened. And
most guys that double bogey in that spot fall apart. Right, and you bounce back the next hole and birdie it.
I did get a little screwed. Rory fell out of the top 5 just barely. Ricky Fowler was in the top 10.
Yeah, I jinxed that.
And then
that was a great pick though.
And then he had a great day, and then wound up tied basically 11th. He was tied for 14th, but a bunch of guys were tied for 10th.
I got burned too. I had Berger. I had Berger and Henley. And then I get the dead heat because Berger was top 30 with 4 other players, so it's called a dead heat.
Right.
So it diminished my bet because I would have ended up breaking her. I would have cashed over a little bit, like $15, but I ended up going a little under because of the stupid dead heat rule. But
at this point, I may have some other things, but Scheffler is the baseline. I'm happy to lose with Scheffler,
right?
As long as he's playing like this.
Harry had Alexander Schauffele top 20, I believe. Yeah,
good play.
It's another great play by
Harry. We've improved since the Masters, since our 0 for 15.
Pay us what you owe us. That's what we need to get the T-shirts for our listeners. Where's our piece? Oh, no, wait, that's just the WNBA guys. Yeah, by the way, I thought for sure you were going to rock one of those shirts today. Yeah. Pay us what you owe us.
I think we owe the listeners at this point. Oh, shit. All right, what's your next take?
Oh, we're going to do the Tigers. All right, let's do the Tigers.
Okay.
That was our first take. Huh?
Yeah, that was it.
Buenos tardes. It is time for the Detroit Tigers Gambling Update with Gramanito Couch and Jason Nick.
Thank God for Tarik Skubal last night, huh? Stop the bleeding a little bit.
That's what he's there for.
Can we just sign this guy already? And every time I watch this guy, like last night, I'm like, oh, man, it's going to be a bummer in 2 years. We're not going to see Skubal on the mound anymore. Why don't we just pay this guy? 60 and 40, Graham. Can you believe that? The first team to get to 60 and 40.
That's pretty amazing.
In the NL West, I mean, there's 2 teams that could do that, I believe. I don't know if they play each other tonight, but so they could also get to 60 and 40. Thank God we're not in the NL West. Thank God we're in the Central where everybody is apparently terrible because I was looking at the standings going like, wow, we lost, 6 in a row? We stopped the skid last night. Some of these other teams in the division must have just, gained on us a little bit. No, not at all.
So
so what do we worry about going into the trade deadline that's coming up, at the end of the month?
Well, you still need bullpen help, and you might need a bat, but you need bullpen help.
But when you get Carpenter back and hopefully Meadows turns the corner, because I'm with you, I'm like, do we need
I need bullpen help.
I know we need definite bullpen help, but I'm saying as far as a bat, I'm not opposed to that either. Now, is Scott Harris? That's the thing. Because when you watch this team struggle, I understand. And by the way, I love A.J. Hinch. Could we just let Skubal get out of that inning last night?
Okay, here's my take on this.
Okay.
I want to get into this. Because that's the visceral reaction. So for those who aren't aware, Skubal pitches 6 2/3. The second out in the 8th, he's got 2 men on
the corners, yeah,
or on the corners, and he quite a battle. Gets a strikeout. He's fired up, almost like he thought it was the 3rd out too. The way he pumped his fist and walked off the mound. I do wonder if for a second
that's almost as big as the 3rd out. To be honest with you, getting that second
huge.
one, but.
It was huge. And then they take him out and put Tyler Holton in.
Yeah.
And of course there's a wild pitch and the run scores and ties and Skubal loses the win. And obviously they won.
And Holton was ahead on the count, though. He should have struck him out.
So, yeah, here's a couple things to note. I was very much the natural reaction is, damn it, we see this all the time. Managers overthink this. They do this all the time. because we would all feel better even if you leave Skubal in and he gives up the hit or he gives up the run. Then it's like, well, that at least made sense to do. That sucks. Now you go get him.
But how many people would have been, AJ, that's why you pull him right there.
No,
so can you win?
I think most people would have been pro.
I would have been okay with it.
Would have been okay with it. So where I changed my mind on this a little bit is I read the quotes from AJ Hinch after and from Skubal after. And it was clear. I mean, I think Hinch has a pretty good feel for this. And Hinch said he really emptied his tank. You could see it. They were basically talking about his ability, his get out pitches late and late as time was going on, and he really emptied his tank to get that second out of that inning. Like he could, and then when he goes to Holton, if Holton had like given up some meatball over the plate home run, I would have been pissed off. But it's a wild pitch. That's a weird thing. It wasn't like he pitched poorly. He pitched well in the next inning. Vest came in like every move paid off except for the fact they had a wild pitch in there. It wasn't like he even gave up a hit. And it was just the quote from the way that Skubal took it on the mound, the way that the things Skubal said afterward, the things that Hinch said afterward, it just feels like they had a better sense of the pulse of things. Did it 100% work out? No. Will it drive me nuts if they do it again? Will it drive everybody? Yes. Do I wish he'd left Skubal in? Yes. But I get it a little more. And obviously
Sure.
that when they come back to win, I think that's one of the things that we talked about this last week at some point with people's takes on the internet. Any take that is made within 10 minutes of an event happening should not have any credibility. Because
Except college refs are ass.
Well, that's
pretty much dead on.
But that's a given. But let the emotions simmer for a second.
That's not fun.
It's not fun, but it gives you more credibility. It gives you more reason, and it gives you're not just the 88th millionth person, to jump all over AJ Hinch. I love AJ, but this is a moronic decision. I mean, it's just
moronic is a little strong,
or whatever.
If you could disagree with it, because I felt like if Skubal could get out of that jam, could it propel us to just close this game out to where we had to sit there and Vierling ended up coming through in the clutch. And getting a nice hit up the middle there, but man,
and even more credibility if you want to take, and this is where I think there are a lot of people, and I felt the same way, is when he got taken out, even before it happened, you can see what's happening. You're saying, no, leave him in, and because you can see what's coming.
Don't do it, AJ.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Don't you do it, you bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. It can go both ways, right? I think like if you sit there and you go, I don't know more than AJ Hinch. I get it. He's a great manager. Even though you got to cheat sometimes to win, but we don't look past that. We don't talk about the past. But sometimes you can sit there and go in the mix of the game, because they've done that to Mize when they pulled Mize once, and I'm like, sitting there like, why?
Yeah,
he didn't even wince or do anything. So I get it. They have their analytics and they like doing all that stuff.
And they see velocity and they see what's going on with the pitcher. They have a feel for where. So
you're saying take a 15-minute break of like, all right, let me just process.
I'm just saying, yeah,
and then start firing.
Think about it for a second. And like I have no problem if you disagree with the decision, because I sort of still do too. I knew I wanted to hear AJ Hinch's comments, and it sucked because it wasn't a Bally's game, and it was on ESPN.
It's FanDuel now,
or FanDuel.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Bally's
FanDuel
is dead.
Sorry, it's all on my Xfinity cable, which I was able to watch the game on ESPN with. But because it wasn't on that, they didn't have the live press conference afterwards. But just reading the stories, I'm okay with it. Sure. I wouldn't throw
Not the win.
Yep, wouldn't throw with it.
If it would have led to 2 runs, we would have lost that game 2-1. Then I guess
Do you have another take?
I don't.
Okay,
I don't think there's anything else going on.
One last thing before we get to listener takes, and some really good MSU football and basketball, U of M football, Tigers, Scheffler, a lot of good stuff.
WNBA All-Star game.
A lot of good stuff.
Hell yeah.
One thing, it appears MSU hockey is going to get Porter Martone, the 6th overall pick in the NHL draft. He was the Flyers draft pick. This is part of that new world where they can recruit Canadian juniors. They'll get him for a year. And this is a huge get right after Isaac Howard gets traded, and then they lose him, and then obviously Gavin McKenna picks Penn State over Michigan State. And I don't think any MSU fan was feeling like sky is falling. Everybody knows that what's happened under Adam Nightingale has been incredible for the program. But it is a reminder, just the stratosphere that MSU hockey is operating in right now. Like, they're one of 2 people for what's supposed to be a generational guy like McKenna. Then they get another top 6 NHL pick who chooses them. I think they got 14 now, maybe 14 or 15 off the look. NHL picks on next year's roster. Like it's going to be fun times. Would it have been really sweet if McKenna was there? Would that been like must see hockey? I mean, I think either way, it's going to be a fun year, and there'll be pressure on them when they get to the NCAA tournament. It's going to be an NCAA tournament team. I think everybody knows that, but it really just speaks to the situation where you lose out on one guy, another guy leaves. You need a replacement, and you're not at the bottom of the barrel scraping for some mid-major transfer you hope's plucky anymore. There's none of that, right? Those days are gone. Instead, you're taking a guy who is a top 6 NHL draft pick. How
great is East Lansing, though, during hockey season?
I think it's pretty
Must
good.
Be a great pitch to where these guys are like, yeah, I know I went top 10 in the draft, but, man, East Lansing in the fall?
Yeah, it's either that or you play a year in the AHL, and MSU hockey has a reputation right now where they're developing guys well enough, and organizations are comfortable with that, and so you're getting that, and I think in some ways it's a better place to mature. The complaint you'll hear from pro hockey teams, and I've heard this from friends who cover the sport and cover the NHL, is they don't play enough games in college. So some people say the college hockey season's too long. The problem is they only play like 40 games, whereas you play, and sometimes for development they want more than that, and that is the one downside to the college hockey situation. They're not going to up the games because they have to pretend it's an academic body too, and there's got to be plenty of time for hitting the bars in East Lansing and that sort of stuff. That's part of the pitch. That's why why you go there. Anyway, just wanted to bring that to light. Are you ready to dig into these listener takes?
Let's do it, my friend. Eric Schultz up first. Trey Fort may begin the season as the starting 2-guard. If he's still the starter in March, it means the season was a failure. And bonus. Okay, this has gone on long enough, Graham. Kalen Lucas won Big Ten Player of the Year once, not twice. Once. One time. You don't need Jason to play Hoff so you can look it up. Thank you.
No, I saw this, Eric, and I looked it up, and you were right. I don't know why. He was 2-time first team All Big Ten. So you know how sometimes you think something and you just repeat it to yourself enough that it is a fact of life. Mm-hmm. And I've been saying that quite a bit. And I think I knew that he wasn't, but at some point I just started saying it. And but one of the things Eric is great at is holding me accountable, and I appreciate that from Eric. To the trade for
exhausting.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, absolutely. He must. I mean, I can't even believe he still listens. I mean, like a fucking A. I mean,
he's telling me to not play Hoff. He's calling you out. It's great.
Such a sense of responsibility to listen to the show. He's like, I got to listen today again because he's
can't take it anymore. This Kalen Lucas shit couch does to me.
Screw this up again. But to the Trey Fort bit, the only pushback I would have on this is just from people I've talked to who have been around practice. There are some people who are really, really, really high on his ability, and think he'll be better than Jaden Akins was for them, at least offensively. And so I don't know what Kurt Tang is going to be in year one. Right now, if the season, from everything I've heard, right now if the season began, Trey Fort would clearly be the starting shooting guard, and so I don't know if that the season's a failure if he has a good year. I think he's capable of having a good year at the Big Ten level. So I would push back on that. Eric, I trust your analysis, so I would want more analysis from you on it and why you feel that way. And if you feel, based on everything you've seen from him, that he can't be an upper tier Big Ten shooting guard. And I don't know 100% he can't be. What I'm because there is some evidence through the previous 5 years of his college basketball career that's definitely not a given. But some of the stuff I've heard from practice is people are pretty dang excited about him.
Maybe next. Number one, people don't want to hate Jonathan Smith and are dubiously excited about football. He ought to capitalize on it. And number two, 92-1 The Edge is greater than the ticket.
Remember 92-1 The Edge?
Oh, absolutely.
Here in
yeah, it was in downtown East Lansing, right? Yeah. Next to the Land Shark.
Maybe had a picture of an old 92.1 The Edge keychain, too.
Oh, yeah. Might be time to throw that away. What are we hoarding? Maybe.
So 92, like when you
How long goes that?
When you were a dorky kid like me, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about a kid who went.
I still am.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I went in both 6th and 7th grade. I went as Gavroche from Les Mis for Halloween. That's that kind of dork, right?
That's loserish behavior.
So when you're trying to fit in, and people would ask you like, "What's your favorite radio station?" depending on who was asking, I used to say like 92 on the edge because that was a safe space that got you into you're fine. That was a good place to be. And then
that's what you were scared of, but you dressed like a fucking Les Mis character.
Well, yeah, well, that's right. No, it was not a bright.
Someone going to beat you up for not knowing the popular radio station. But
well, it was 96.5 if you're talking to a certain clientele, and then it was 92.1 if it was a different clientele, and you just Power 96.5.
WJLB.
So it depended on who you were speaking to, how I wanted to fit in. I was a Lansing kid, lots of different sectors.
Totally. Yeah. That was me in middle school.
To maybe his first point.
96.5.
People don't want to hate Jonathan.
Depends on the clientele. Oh God.
People don't want to hate Jonathan Smith and are dubiously excited about football. He ought to capitalize on it. I think that's
Pound the bushes.
I think it's probably a minority who are. I think there are probably fewer people than I think that are really out on him or suspect, and some of them are on our listeners who are contributors. I would love to know what maybe that's a good.
Well, they want to give him a chance going into this year, obviously, like you keep telling people. But there's also a threshold. If what happens this year happens in their mind, he's got to go.
I think what happened last year, the way it ended, was familiar to people in a way that hurt and that made them concerned. And
we don't have enough time for all of that.
They knew that feeling, and they didn't like it. And it was a feeling of coaches who had failed and coaches they couldn't trust to be good. And there was everything they had heard was this guy was a competent coach. And you had the Iowa game, and then from there it got worse and worse. And there were a number of injuries, which I think were maybe understated a little bit. Although I put that on coaches too. One of the things, coaches are very, very careful about injuries and the number of and just how bad it is. They don't want to. They don't want to talk about injuries, Mark D'Antonio used to say. But if you're not going to be transparent with that stuff, it's harder for people to understand why things are happening. And I think, there have been a couple seasons, not just under Jonathan Smith, but under Mel Tucker and everything, where they got really, really beat up defensively in certain areas to the point that they just weren't able to compete at the Big Ten level. And that needs to be better explained. Now, it's hard it's not easy to do that because you can't just say before a game, we got this freshman back here and he's got no fucking chance. Like, you can't say that about it. But you have to.
It would be nice, though.
There are ways to thread that needle with tea leaves and people kind of get the idea that it could be a tough afternoon. And you've got to – I just think coaches don't do a great job of that, and it doesn't work to their favor.
Thomas next. MSU football will have a fine season. Not great, not terrible. But the Tigers will distract enough people to temper the most extreme reactions to the season. Or the Tigers might let us down, and then we'll go even harder on the MSU team.
Yeah, and it depends how long the Tigers go, right? And it will mask over some stuff, but not long term. I do agree. If it's a fine season, not great, it can help. Give me a fine season though. Like, what is a fine season? That's a great question. What does fine mean to people? Yeah. I think fine. Yeah, is 6-6 fine? Is 7-5
again? And
fine?
We talk about it. I mean, like, where are the wins? Like, what wins are happening during that?
Right, and you're right. It's who they beat. It's how it looks. I think fine can be a lot of different things, and we also just don't know how good certain teams are going to be. And what is Indiana this year? Right? I mean, you read some things and it looks like they'll be pretty good. I don't know that. Will Indiana have like a 2022 Michigan State deal after the last season that was similar to maybe MSU's 2021? But yeah, no, you can see that certainly the Tigers playing winning October baseball helps everything, and it takes pressure off things. But it will not be the focal point on Michigan State Michigan week. It will not stop people from being really upset if they lose to Michigan badly and then turn around and lay an egg to Minnesota the following week on the road. Like there are things that the Tigers cannot rescue you from.
Kurt Wisniewski, number one, seeing Scheffler dominate the Open was really special. He's the Skubal of the PGA. And 2, MSU football in Vegas for Big Ten Media Days without their quarterback is weird. It's like 2015, the kind of thing that will propel MSU to the Big Ten championship and a college football playoff spot.
Well, he's not a senior. That's the difference. And I think that if you leave a senior quarterback behind, people talk about it differently. I actually like this move that he's not one of the players who are there, because what happens when you're there and the way it's set up now is it's set up that the stories are just about you, right? Because there are only so many players there, and you got like 45 minutes of these guys, and everybody's standing around it, and so then it becomes this whole story, and there will be plenty of stories about what is Aiden Childs going to be this season.
It's going to be the only story.
We're going to write the heck out of it in August, right? And it'll be in. So if you can avoid starting it from a more national and regional perspective in July, and give him a breather on this, so it doesn't just become like constant. I don't hate it for a guy who's a junior who has not proven yet that he, like, we talk about Aiden Childs having big time potential, and he does, but he's a guy who I think more concerning is his focus needs to be on play and less on bravado and explaining stuff and predictions. And he was a guy last year who got caught up in some of that. I think he was better this spring, but it's easy to do.
Over? Are we talking about that?
Yeah, all that stuff. Like it's just,
he's supposed to say.
But again, I think Aiden Childs is one of those guys. If he's up on a stage for 45 minutes, he's going to say a few things that are a little bravado-ish that just don't help you. You just don't need them.
MCV 0512 next. Number 1, if MSU football doesn't average at least 30 points this season, the fight song will officially be amended to "Watch the Punts Keep Growing." And bonus, people can rightfully hate on Indiana's scheduling, but Michigan did the same thing for years, and people only talk about their success.
I mean, I've talked about Michigan's schedule because I hate the 8 home games. I hate what they've done. And Ohio State did it a little bit too. Less so than Michigan State, because Ohio State had a weird, screwy situation with the Notre Dame game where that threw them for a loop at the last second. The next year they only played 6 home games. I totally agree. Like, I don't think it's right for anybody. Indiana's doing it pretty blatantly right now, that they're just dumping quality games or games at least against Power 5 opponents for games against FCS foes. And, we're in an era where, people just do the shit that you're not used to get in trouble for and everything in life. And, hey, I'm just going to do it. Stop me. Who cares? And maybe Indiana won't be punished for it. I know this. If I were on the playoff committee, I wouldn't vote them in. I wouldn't vote any jackass who played 8 home games. I wouldn't vote anybody. Intent and scheduling would matter to me. And so we just need one knucklehead like me on the committee to stop this sort of stuff from happening.
How do we get you on there?
That's a good question.
Need to make that happen. Parker Weiss next. Michigan fans posting asking if MSU fans are even excited for the football season in July. They are thinking about us in July. October 25th, MSU Moneyline, book it. Smith officially wins the fan base over. Those fans are the most arrogant bunch of dipshits, I swear.
Parker's just venting about something. He's like, here we go. We are here for you for this. This is the way it works in every many rivalries. And it's people like seeing the rivals suffer as much as they are like winning themselves. And that goes for Michigan State fans with Michigan. That goes for Michigan fans with Michigan State. I mean, it goes for politics. I mean, people like seeing people suffer. It is not our best character trait as a world, and it's the way the sports exists and is, and people are obsessed with their rivals, even if they say they're not.
Scott U, MSU football needs to add some high-quality non-conference opponents. Jay Batt has added Tennessee and Alabama to Georgia Tech's non-conference schedule on top of already playing Georgia every year. Will we see some new teams like Tennessee, Auburn, or even Arkansas schedule? Will they be added to the schedule? Currently, there is the Notre Dame series in 26 and 27, and then nothing but directional Michigan schools scheduled beyond that.
So to Scott's point, like, part of what makes college football great is matchups you don't always see. Now, the Big Ten is full of teams from the West Coast now, and you're only going to see teams so often. So, you're going to get some of that in conference when USC visits, when UCLA visits at Washington, although I think Michigan State's about sick of Washington at this point. But you get the point. You want these things to be something that people want to schedule. Indiana fans, they may have an easier trek toward more wins, but they've got shittier games to show up to when you're beating up on Western Illinois and everything. It is fun. I mean, college football isn't always about just the end of the rainbow. It's always been about the journey. It's about that Saturday. It's about the big game. You talk to people who were at the Oregon-Michigan State game at East Lansing in 2015, and what an epic scene that was, and what a night that was. And there have been other nights throughout. Like, those games going away, like, we don't want to ever create a system that doesn't encourage those games or punishes those games, even worse, because that should be part of the fabric of college football. Cool games, teams coming in from other places that you don't normally see. You want to encourage that. You want to encourage that on home campus sites, home and home series, all that stuff. And so I hope that is part of the plan, and I hope that's not something that is, the playoff committee doesn't understand really, really matters. Like, if, for example, if you're Michigan State and you play a good, say you play Auburn, good, or mid-tier SEC team, and you lose that game, and Indiana beats Western Illinois, like, it doesn't matter what you did. If they play Western Illinois and that's their equivalent of Auburn, they should be punished the same way you are for that loss. I mean, that's just such a chicken shit move. That stuff drives me nuts. You want great rivalries in college football. You want great matchups. I mean, that's part of the fun of these Saturdays and these. Nobody likes. I mean, Youngstown State and that stuff. Nobody wants that. I agree here. I hope there are some good games at Spartan Stadium, and I hope the system doesn't punish teams for scheduling like that.
Mr. Neurotic Pants, number one, I think MSU will win 6 games this season, and that one additional win will make the season so much more enjoyable and exciting than the felony loving that made up the end of last season. 2, big take, J.D. Vance is a robot, and he won't be able to convince me otherwise.
Not human, just an AI guy? Yeah, well, his running.
Robots fucking couches?
Yeah.
I don't see it. I think that's really him. Tom Cruise. I've always thought he's an alien. Tom Brady, it looks like he's a little alienish.
Yeah.
I could see that. But Tom Cruise for sure. If you told me, if like I went to NewYorkPost.com tomorrow and it was like, Tom Cruise, admitted alien, I'd be like, I thought so. Got that one right.
I could see that.
Yeah. Tom Drognowski. If the recent reports are true, MSU hockey adding Porter Martoni is the best case outcome after losing out on McKenna and having Ike Howard turn pro. Great job by the staff to get that done. What'd they do to get it done?
I don't know. I haven't.
What do you have to do to talk someone that was top 10 in the NHL draft?
Well, here's what's happening is these guys used to just be in Canadian juniors. They didn't have the ability. Once you decided to go the Canadian junior route, you did not have the ability to then also play college hockey. So this wasn't an option before now, and so I think those players are seeing that it's a good development path. It's a good maturity path. It's a good option. And Michigan State is a place right now that is seen as a place that you can help yourself by being there for a year. And more important than anything is the NHL clubs see it that way. But that was a big problem for a number of years, is that, to land the top people, it's not just about them loving the campus or seeing the coach's vision of winning. It's about, their career, because some of these top guys are presumed draft picks or already draft picks. And those clubs have to feel like they're in a place, or those advisors have to feel like they're in a place that gets them where they need to go and develops them the way they need to be developed.
Thornton Mellon next. MSU basketball will have 3 guys shooting better than 38% from 3 on volume this year. Book it. 2, had Kerr redshirted, he'd be all freshman team this season. And 3, Fort will exceed expectations, and we will have 2 starters named all conference by the end of the year.
So if MSU has 3 guys shooting better than 38% from 3 on volume's the key, because you can have guys who take 15 threes. It doesn't really matter who they are. If you get 3 guys who make
I'm saying like Fears last year, he didn't shoot that many.
Oh, yeah.
Percentage.
Correct. I see what you're saying. Yeah. If you get 3 guys who make 50 or more threes at 38% or better, you're going to be a really good team.
Natty.
I just that is.
Get that second one for Izzo.
I don't know if it'll be that, but
pressure, guys.
The way I think they'll defend and rebound, I think it'll that would put them in a really good place.
Sparty Barb next. Number 1, Liz Frank is pronounced Liz Frank. 2, the injury to the midfoot is named after Jacques Lisfranc de Saint-Martin, a French surgeon who served in Napoleon's army and performed multiple foot amputations at the midfoot.
Which is even worse. Why did they name that after that? That's awful.
Just cutting at the midfoot.
Yeah.
Come on, Jocks. What the fuck, man? 3, the 2 MSU offensive linemen went out with this injury. I'm so sorry. My bad. 2 MSU offensive linemen went out with this injury last season. One was a starter that went out in the first game of the season, and the other was his replacement. And bonus, Liz Frank needs to be banned from all Spartan venues.
Agreed. No, there should be no place for Liz.
She needs to get out.
You remember that time? What were we doing? What did you have on you that went off that time where we thought there was
the exact same thing? It's my diabetic monitor that it's a glucose monitor.
Are you doing okay in there?
Is it totally fine?
Okay.
If it doesn't get a reading or something, it'll go off. My bad. I should have had it on.
No.
Thought I had it on silent.
No, we don't want you to die. You need to know if you're.
Totally get that, but it was not one part of that.
Quickly, the story that if people missed it from the time that you had it on before, we came into this place and we heard this beeping. Like it felt like it was in the ceiling somewhere. We couldn't tell where it was.
It was a constant beep. It wasn't a beep. It was like a I don't even know how to describe
a straight
it. Like
sound.
a straight that sound. And I had just that day, it was my first day having the device after I went to the doctor and I got it from Walgreens. I did the whole thing. So it was my first full day wearing it. Well, they didn't explain to me that when the device is empty, when it's out of insulin, because that's what it does. It talks to my phone and it regulates my blood sugar. And when it goes high, it can tell whether or not I need insulin. I give myself insulin, blah, blah, blah. Well, when that runs out of insulin, apparently it makes that terrible sound to let you know that it's over. And I didn't know why on earth anything that you would wear like that would need to sound like this. So it was constantly that beeping, long beeping sound, just beep. And I'm walking around and it's very faint. So I'm in here and I'm like, what? It sounds like a fire alarm. So you were not here yet, of course, because, Graham likes to show up 45 minutes late. So I am walking around trying to find this fucking fire alarm or whatever alarm that's in the studio here, because it can't be me because it's right here.
Yeah.
And I would figure I would be able to tell, but honestly, no one really explained to me that long sound was going to be the warning sign. So I'm going around, and so I end up going over to Jimmy John's.
Well, no, it's funny. I show up before you went to Jimmy John's. So we're both, I mean, I didn't catch it. It didn't sound like it was coming from you either. Like we were, but the problem
you were here after I went to either.
You went to Jimmy John's.
You tell it.
Okay.
No.
So, sorry. But
you were sitting outside the studio. You were outside doing the Twitter questions or something. I had gone over to grab a Jimmy John's sandwich.
That's when we figured it out.
When I came back, because I went over there, and the guy's like, what is that noise? And I'm like, I know, man. I'm over here across the street. We do a podcast over there. I don't know if Couch to the Roof. And he's like, what? And I'm like, anyway, so we have a fire alarm apparently over there. I can't figure out where it's coming from.
They got the same one.
Yeah. And he's like, that's so crazy. What is that sound? And so anyway, I grabbed my sandwich because that guy doesn't care. His shift was over. He's getting out of there. So I come back over, and then you're sitting here. I'm like, yeah, dude, you hear? He's like, what is that noise? Couch says that. I'm like,
well, no. You got it backwards. So we were looking for it together, but I was following you around, so the sound wasn't going anywhere because I was just basically where you were.
Correct.
What happened was you then left for Jimmy John's to go get your sandwich, and I was sitting out there. And so when you left, the sound,
minor detail that you could have just left.
The sound went away.
Yeah.
And so then you came back, and that's when we started a piece.
You did say, yes, that's true. So then I came back, and you said, well, when you were gone, the sound went away. We didn't put those together. So the maintenance person, because I'm sitting there going, like, I'm asking Jeff Heward, I'm texting him, I'm like, you know of any fire alarm or anything like that? And he's like, no, I don't. And so that he ended up calling the maintenance person down here. As soon as the maintenance person gets here, they're just disgusted. You could tell the look on their face, like, what is going on? And by that time, I had figured out it was my diabetic device that I was wearing, and I had to look at this person. I was like, I'm really, really sorry, but you had to come all the way down here. And now I know exactly what that alarm is for now, so I apologize. So
I thought the building was coming down. It was a story worth telling, presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company. And
sorry, I was backwards.
Anyway, by the way, at Midtown Brewing Company, their next theme trivia night, pop culture theme trivia, Thursday, July 31st, 7 o'clock, 90s pop culture theme trivia, 90s pop culture theme. So if you're of our age and you love 90s pop culture, great time to put a team together. Call to reserve a table for your friends on July 31st. It is 517-977-1349. You can go see their post for it as well on Facebook at Midtown Brewing Company on Facebook. and play some 90s themed trivia on July 31st.
John Howard next. Losing streaks always happen in baseball, and I'm glad that it happened now for the Tigers to show glaring needs before the trade deadline.
Yeah, I guess
it wasn't as bad as others. 6 games,
but I'd like to think the GMs, somebody who's running a baseball team would know it without needing to see it.
Nope, you got to see it.
Yeah.
The
fans
That's
certainly
how you
know
get to
it now.
Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
You just wait until you see it and then react. Yeah. David Jackson next. That Tony Petitti urged the NCAA to not punish Michigan, knowing full well it was the 9 Big Ten schools on Michigan's schedule each year who were the primary victims of the cheating, tells me the Big Ten doesn't give a fuck about its member schools other than Michigan and Ohio State.
This is what's happening here is Tony Petitti, though, it's his job. I mean, he works for the commissioner, he works for the school presidents, he works for the league, he works for the league members. He's trying to, his job is at this point to mitigate damage for Michigan. What's interesting here is there are a lot of teams within the Big Ten that would probably like to see Michigan fall pretty hard, but I did find that interesting that he's doing that.
Welcome to the blue wall.
Yeah, but I don't know that the NCAA will listen either. We'll see. The one thing I do like that Tony Petitti's doing is causing enough ruckus with the SEC that it looks like we're going to keep a 12-team playoff, which is my preferred total. So it looks like for a couple of years we'll still have that.
Big John Hogg next. Number 1, I was wrong about Scotty. I'm an idiot. Won't see anyone this dominant for a while. 2, never got an answer from Eastlick. I'm going to go egg the Channel 5 studios.
Don't do that.
3, up north is great, but is getting oversaturated by FIPs and FOPs and Metro Detroiters. Don't have as much wiggle room as we used to have.
It's Illinois and Ohio people, right? Is that what that is?
FIPS and FOPs?
Yeah. No, that's not. It sucks. These other states don't have good things, though. So they come up here. They don't have lakes. They don't have it's just not. It gets hot.
I'm surprised more people from Indiana just don't move here.
Right.
You can imagine living in Indiana. Fuck. Spartan Johnny. Watching Scotty cook was some Tiger-ass shit. Watching him take his hat off on 18 with that wicked male pattern baldness, also Tiger-ass shit, made me wish the dude had a buzz cut. Bro looked like Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley, which for the non-mid-40s crowd, off it. And bonus, my summer vacation is over and I'm back to work. In my opinion, this is the second most depressing part of the year, besides post-Super Bowl waiting for March Madness. Help my mind survive the next few weeks until football, dudes. Give me something.
Liga MX, Mexican soccer. There's some Tennis Masters Series tournaments in Toronto. There's one in D.C. this week.
3M golf tournament in Minnesota this weekend.
Yeah. There's women's Euro soccer going on this week, the semis and the finals.
Tigers?
Yeah. There's stuff. It's just, you're right. It's not. It's a little depressing at times.
And Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley, I think you need to go more than mid-40s, right? 50-year-old people.
Yeah, I remember the reruns of Laverne and Shirley. They were on in the 80s, but the original Laverne and Shirley was 10 years ahead of us, when it was on live, right?
Yeah. Dave Barwaldi next. The Scheffler-Tiger comparisons couldn't be more off. Woods was a phenomenal athlete who powered his game and life emotionally. Scotty is a cerebral cat who thrives by staying in the moment and perfecting his technique. Scheffler could live in your neighborhood anonymously.
There's something. So my opinion on
Scotty Scheffler's over here.
Scotty Scheffler was the guy who played too slowly at one point that people complained about him, right? Was he? It wasn't him. Mm-hmm. Was it Schauffele? Who's the guy that people were really?
Xander doesn't. Yeah, Xander kind of golfs slow. Cantlay. Patrick Cantlay is massively slow.
Yeah. Okay, it's not Scheffler.
Scheffler's really never had that. He's got the swing with the feet movement where people are so mesmerized by it anyways.
I got to say, and this is, again, the most entertaining thing I saw this weekend, presented by our friends at Xfinity and Comcast. Scheffler was, there's something calming. Like, it's almost like when I watch him play golf, it's like I'm an infant, a baby, and a mother is rubbing my chest or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel good. And I had a little bet on him at plus 460. I don't know. Like, there's something about the way he plays golf that is soothing to me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Well, when you have an outright winner ticket, it's easier.
That's it. I think that's it. I think I need to always have an outright winner ticket. on Scotty Scheffler. The most entertaining thing I saw this weekend presented by our friends at Comcast and Xfinity. By the way, Comcast Xfinity is upping its game with no contract options for sports and connectivity. The new sports and TV news package available for Xfinity customers featuring 50-plus broadcast news and sports channels. Everything from, football, which we're waiting for, the golf tournaments, the U.S. Open coming up in tennis, and everything in between. It is available for $70 per month when combined with Xfinity Internet, and no contract or commitment is required. Go to Xfinity.com, shop around, see the best offer for you. You'll find great deals, or at least deals in this day where it's very expensive to have good options. They're competitive, and the other thing they do is if you're on Xfinity Mobile, you'll find beyond competitive. You'll find better deals Xfinity Mobile than you will with like Verizon and others with the same coverage area. So go to Xfinity.com and check those out.
Professor next. Maybe it's the Dave Dombrowski and me, but jettison any prospects you need to find one starter, 2 stud relievers, and a right-handed bat. And Baked, going to an event and not being able to sit in any empty seat is lame. Why would you not allow fans to sit in empty seats in the shade when it's 90 degrees out?
Where did this happen? What was the...
I'm guessing a Tigers game.
Yeah. I won't go to a day game. Somebody was texting me the other day about going to a Tigers game. It's got to be a Tuesday or Wednesday night. It's got to be a good seat, and it's got to be evening.
Were they offering you free tickets?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I don't like to bake, and I don't like to go. The crowds are getting big, which is great now, but I need to go midweek. That's my time, Tuesday and Wednesday nights.
Preferably if Skubal's pitching, right? That too? Anything else we need? A pampered ass?
I don't need any of that. If I'm out with the ballpark experience, I just don't want to be crowded. I don't want to be hot, and I don't want to have sun on me.
Just stay home. MZA, the Tigers should never play a game broadcasted on ESPN again. If they care about their own fans' viewing experience, hearing the announcers talk about how Skubal is going to be playing for the Mets, Yankees, or Dodgers in 18 months made watching the game insufferable.
I do think that's one of those memos, and I get that they're serving a much bigger audience than Tigers fans, but by the same token, they know Tigers fans are a big part of the audience because when the game ends, what does SportsCenter do? They immediately show
national
highlights.
Broadcast, though.
Yeah, but they immediately show Tigers highlights, which no national people want to see. They're doing it because they're trying to capture the audience that was just on the game, which is largely Tigers fans, or a lot of Tigers fans. I get why they do it, but they need to understand that this is a touchy subject with Tigers fans, a frustrating subject, and we just don't need to hear it anymore. People know it. If you got to bring it up once in a while, that's fine.
I haven't heard many people talk about it nationally, though, of Skubal possibly going to another team. I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's a bad thing to have a nationally televised, especially on Sunday Night Baseball.
Yep.
I love Sunday Night. I mean, the old school Joe Morgan, Johnny Miller, Sunday 100%. Night Baseball. So it's just fun to watch them on that. Like when they're on Apple TV, like I get what you're saying. I don't know. I understand. Scotty Green's El Camino. Next. Number 1, betting on baseball is ass. Home run parlays are just giving your money away. And to get any good odds, you need like a 3 or 4 leg hit parlay. The NBA is more predictable and easier to make money on. That is a hot take. That's a hot one right there. 2, in no particular order, the worst organizations in history are the Nazis, KKK, Michigan Alumni Association, and Central Michigan University. And Baked. Couch likes Coldplay.
So I would tell you if I did. I mean, I like lots of things that are. I mean, I just told you on this show that I went as Gavroche, and I still love Gavroche. I mean, one of the hardest things about my voice.
What is he worried about Coldplay
was
for?
I could no longer dream of playing Gavroche on Broadway. The
Coldplay has some bangers though.
No, I'm not anti-Coldplay. I would recognize Coldplay songs, but you would have to tell me it was a Coldplay song. I wouldn't. If you told me name a Coldplay song, I couldn't do it.
I don't believe that.
Yeah?
I feel if I played one for you, you could.
Yeah. Well, do you know one offhand?
Guy.
Oh yeah, I know that. I do know that.
I can keep going.
Didn't know that was Coldplay. You did it well. We should have you sing more on that show. That's really good.
There wasn't any words.
Him.
Al Bundy.
Betting on baseball, I mean, I think one of baseball's challenges is it's a hard sport to bet, and people like.
But maybe if you throw in some total bases, but to say the NBA is easy, I mean, come on, the NBA is crazy.
NBA is really hard to bet because they make up points so quickly. Point spreads are more difficult. College sports are easier to bet than the pro sports.
I've had more fun betting baseball when you take out the home run aspect of it all, do total bases or hits, or like with Skubal last night. I added for a single game parlay, even though it lost, but Skubal 7 strikeouts. Now it's minus 330, but you add a couple total bases with a couple different guys or something like that. I just think when you add the home run thing, the element, it's just... But it'll juice the odds, but it's kind of a waste of your time. Max next. Couch in the Rubes saves Detroit media. Los has to be a fan. His Sunday column about Dan Campbell and the Lions was pretty good. The most un-Los column ever. He's listening, guys. Keep up the good work. Who knows? Maybe Wojo will come out from behind the blue wall.
I did not read it.
Blue wall.
What? Los?
Yeah, I'll have to go back and read it. But I mean, the challenge Los has is like, but it's kind of the boy who cried wolf. People recognize the Los column, the Los headline, and they don't read it at all, even when he writes a good one. He may have written many good ones. That's the challenge. And I have actually read some of his that are pretty good. He's not like a bad writer. That's never been his issue. And since he's in our company, maybe we'll fix that in post and forget.
What's
that
his issue then?
Well, it's just a little.
His boy that cried wolf.
Yeah,
bullshit.
It's a little. It's a little he's trying to poke the bear a little too much. I like to poke the bear, but it's a little too obvious a little too often, I think is the way I'd put it.
Steve Betts next. I appreciate the 92-1 ticket memory. Jack Ebling with Tom Crawford, Mad Dog, Valeni. Fred Heumann did great interviews with his Detroit connections. Whoa, wait, Fred Heumann was on 92-1 the ticket as well? I missed that part.
What a
cast.
Lineup. Yeah, unbelievable. I felt all of Fred Heumann.
Holy shit, what a lineup. The Hondo Carpenter of Southern Maine next. If you're over the age of 14 and you call into a sports talk show, there's a 99% chance you're an incel. I got to say, those numbers seem accurate.
So I don't listen to a lot of sports talk, but I feel I'm a little concerned that we're insulting the... I mean, because how different is doing these Twitter takes and questions than
but these are more thought out, and you have
true.
to type them out, and you have to, you send these in. If you're sitting there, you're just off the top of your head sometimes, And to be honest with you, when you're sitting there on hold, it is kind of nerve-wracking, right? When you hear that glass break through and you get kind of nervous.
When was the last time you called into a sports talk show?
Oh, my God.
You were over 14, I'm sure.
That's all I did when I was 15, 16. I'd skip school and call one-on-one sport or Sporting News Radio. I'd sit there from a payphone and call 1-800 whatever.
Had you done it since you turned 30?
Not without prank calling. I mean, yeah, no, I can't say that I have. Well, I mean, not even Mad Dog.
What have you ever had a really bad experience where it was embarrassing and it didn't go well?
Well, they did ban me when I was 15 and 16 because I was so young and I sounded young. They had to ask my father's, I had to take the phone up. One of the producers was like, "We can't let you on anymore, man." And I was so devastated. So my dad was upstairs and he heard me wailing about, I was so bummed. And he had to end up talking to one of the producer guys. But listen, my son's 15. He's got nothing else going on, Can you just
no prospects in life.
Right. He barely likes school. This is the only thing he gravitates towards. There's no, women in his life or, girls. So, could you just let him call into the show?
Did they let you?
Oh, absolutely.
And so,
but they had to, I would constantly call in.
That is a story we're telling, presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company.
But when you start doing the stout, I just never, when you start doing it when you're 18 and stuff like that, I don't know. I'm not above it, but I just didn't call into other shows very often.
Gotcha.
Yeah. DMB next. Number 1, Michigan fans absolutely deserve Justin Spiro, but my God, some of his videos are a bit concerning. Maybe he's the hero we need but don't deserve. It's time to punish those scumbags and move on. And bonus. Couch should honor his tattoo bet for the Weiss story, considering he's going to federal prison and the school is on the hook for billions in lawsuits. I'm thinking a nice face tat for more Lansing street cred.
Yeah, I don't want the Mike Tyson face tat. That's
Don't go crazy, but how about a little teardrop?
Yeah.
Right in the corner of the eye.
No, but people think you murdered somebody if you did that.
Well, no shit. That's street cred.
That's not. Yeah.
Right?
I think it's too obvious. I think that was street cred 30 years ago. I think now it's is that maybe it's still
you show up with a teardrop tatty
anywhere
you get just instant respect.
That would be something if I did it. Yes, no.
Especially with that being your only tattoo.
Spiro is committed to the cause. There's no question about that. Like his timeline, he is, and he has receipts, and he is passionate about it. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it.
Gotta love the passion.
No, and look, it's not like he's not. I mean, he's not just spewing off. Like he has. I mean, what always cracks me up is people come at him, and he's got a receipt for something they said 6 years ago. And it's remarkable. Solari's got some of that in him too. Like all of us on the beat are well aware that Solari's ability to comb social media for that photo of you when you were 22 years old that you don't want out there.
He's
very capable of it. So you never push Solari over the edge. That's the key.
How scary. Oh my God, Solari found that picture of me. Sinner's Dog 97, Alan Haller. Degrading MSU's brand by bending over backwards to please Petiti, only for Petiti to not give him any return favors and argue against Michigan getting a fair punishment by the COI just goes to show that just because you're a good person and talk to certain beat writers regularly doesn't mean you're good at the job you had. At least Judas got 30 pieces of silver for his troubles. Is that Matt C? Oh, no, Sinner's Dog.
Sinner's Dog, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, look, it's clear that the component of the job in terms of donor relations that is important was something where Haller fell short. I think there was also a petulousness. That's not even a word.
Like a petulant child?
Yeah, to some of the donors and the way they like. Put it this way: Jay Batt has it a lot easier than Haller. Certain things Haller hired a football coach. Haller made a lot of hires. In non-revs and in hockey and other things that are going pretty well. So he gets to come in and build those relationships. But if the first thing Jay Batt had to do was come in and hire a football coach, and here's our man Matt Ishbia over here, who just traded for Bradley Beal and then had to buy out the contract and doesn't always make the best decisions in terms of building a team, and he's fired a couple coaches already and all that stuff. With his idea for what coach they should hire, Jay Batt would have to deal with how to massage that situation. And obviously, Haller just basically saying, I'm going to do it on my own, my way, didn't work out for him. And I'm not sure if you just take that away, if it would have mattered eventually anyway. I'm not sure. Guskowitz, the new president, was that had a ton of faith in him, at least by the end. The question is, if Haller had simply acquiesced to whatever Matt Ishbia wanted, and maybe that's the job. I don't think it is. Would he still be around? And would have funds been? I think there were some other issues in fundraising, as I've learned since. But Haller did a lot of good things, but he wasn't the complete AD, and they needed a different person, I think, right now for the job at hand in a critical moment. But I think he also handled some really tough decisions and made some really good hires and did some good things. I think Jay Batt's job is easier because Alan Haller was there, and I don't think they're in that bad a spot.
Matty B next. Number one, if I'm Caitlin Clark, I'm leaving the WNBA by the end of Monday. End of the day Monday. Just getting dragged by your fellow colleagues has to get old. And bonus, Dan Wetzel is a shill, and Tony Petiti is weak. We'll get that return favor any day now from the conference.
Caitlin Clark's not leaving the WNBA.
No?
But it is some of the shots at her are just it's a bit much. The jealousy is, and I understand the frustration of a league that played good basketball before her and all that stuff. But man, she's elevating your league. Your TV deals, the money that's going to be coming in league wide has only been helped by her
expansion.
Just be grateful for it. And yeah, look in every realm. I mean, what's that movie with Damon Wayans and was it The Great White Hype? And,
wow. Yeah.
A little.
Yeah. Wow. It's a blast from the past.
Yeah, I'm just saying this shit has existed forever. There's no doubt. And although this time it was other white women coming at her, but like I get the frustration. I do. But
what white chicks are coming after her now?
Did you see the press conference the other day? It was.
I missed it.
Yeah, it was about those shirts and about how that whole thing came together, and somebody said, well, there weren't a lot of people from Team Clark there. Now, Team Clark was
Kelsey Plum.
Yeah, Kelsey Plum.
Because that is interesting, because Kelsey Plum, before Caitlin Clark, was kind of like Caitlin Clark, right? Because she scored a lot of points. I heard this from Dan Patrick this morning about how Kelsey, so I can understand Kelsey Plum probably hates Caitlin Clark because Kelsey Plum was kind of like Caitlin Clark without the threes, right? Scoring a bunch of points.
Yeah. No, it was an interesting comment. It was unnecessary, I thought.
Andy, I never watched golf before, but it was either watch Scotty win big or watch the Microsoft Excel Championships. Football can't come soon enough. That said, Scheffler seems awesome. What kind of legacy are we talking here? Is this just a great golfer or Tiger-level greatness emerging? And bonus, injuries absolutely deserve more credit for MSU football falling apart at the end of last year. Yes, you need depth, but expecting a first-year coach to have depth after Tucker is ludicrous. And double bonus. Does Jeremy Fears Jr.'s jaw as much in Big Ten play as he does at Moneyball? Mic him up. Very entertaining. And triple bonus. Evan Boyd is better than everyone expects.
Jeremy Fears has a lot of what you see. I mean, he jaws more in the Big Ten than he does in Moneyball. And Moneyball, it's a little more playful. He gets into people's heads. And there is an edge to Jeremy Fears that I think, as long as his game continues to grow, you need a guy like that. You probably can't have, 4 guys like that, but it's not a bad thing to have as your point guard, for sure. And yeah, you're right on the injuries. It's still, you can have injuries and you cannot lose 41-14 to Rutgers to end the year. And there's, those two things can both exist.
Kevin from Rochester Hills.
Oh, so he asked a question. Is this Tiger level? Oh, yeah, and we answered that. Yeah, it's Tiger. There's a long way to go.
Yeah.
By 35 years old, if he's over 8 and he's still playing at this level, if he's winning a major every year and he's over 8 majors at 35 years old, we'll start looking at it.
I mean, there are some parallels, in a 4-year span of what Tiger did in his first 4 years on the PGA Tour. But, I mean, as a whole, no way. Kevin from Rochester Hills. Number 1, Scotty Scheffler will never be Tiger.
There we go.
2, Scotty is a nickname for a 10-year-old. And 3, no one cares about the WNBA except Graham.
Well, and the ratings. People do because people get into this. And I do think years from now, like the WNBA is having a moment right now, and this is it's going to be a league that makes money, that's self-funded. The salaries are going to change. And I do think all this drama right now, while it may seem, and I just said unnecessary the other day, I do think it's good for the league. I think it's created a soap opera that people want. People look. My wife just watched like 64 episodes of Love Island, man. I mean, like the shit people, and she's like an intelligent woman. The shit people watch and want, the drama, like it's.
I was about to say, what does that have to do with?
I'm just saying.
Does she watch the WNBA?
I'm saying even intelligent people want lowbrow entertainment, and the WNBA is giving that right now, and so that's.
Pay us what you owe us. I don't know if that's great entertainment. I mean, if you want to sit there and have some of the players dislike Caitlin Clark, I mean, that wasn't bad because now Caitlin Clark has an enforcer. You're trying to start that kind of, like, I didn't mind that stuff. It's just the off the court stuff, and people are going to be, turned off by some of the pay us what you owe us. And are they talking about a lot about how they should make the same amount as the NBA players? No. But I mean, you still are talking about a league that people still view as it's not making money. And why are we getting all ahead of ourselves,
Well, the finances are very different than they were, and that's what
absolutely it's trending upwards. But if you're sitting there and as you're trending upwards, going pay us what you owe us, you're going like, what? What are you guys talking about?
I don't know.
You're losing everybody.
I don't know if it was necessary.
You have a great thing going with momentum with Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, and other athletes that are fun to watch. But then people are just going to be so turned off by the extracurricular stuff in it, and then wonder why it fails.
Yeah.
I hate it. Skylar Verdon. I can't enjoy Scotty Scheffler winning because he's already so accomplished. The only thing left for him is to chase Tiger for the title of greatest of all time. But whenever that comparison gets made, you get a whole bunch of whiny people yelling he'll never be as good as Tiger.
I think let's just all agree. If he's at 8 by 35, we'll reassess. Because Tiger did it for so long and was so dominant. I mean, there are traits of dominance that we haven't seen since Tiger Woods in terms of like, the guys playing around him can't keep up, and he's just better than. And it's unbelievable.
Some dude. Damn you, Jason, for making me think differently about the Lions' curse of Bobby Lane. We've all felt better the past few years because they're good, like really good in a substantial way, maybe not cursed. But, man, the way they bowed out the last 2 seasons makes me think maybe they're as cursed as ever.
Mm.
15 wins. It's hard to, but yeah, that first round bow out or the, after the bye and getting your ass handed to you by Washington.
Seems like a different kind of curse right now. Yeah.
And then getting there, 1 quarter away or 1/2 from a Super Bowl, against San Fran.
If this group, the curse will exist if this group doesn't get it done in the next couple of years.
There's no question. Peyton Manning, we blame him. When do we start blaming Peyton Manning, though?
Why would Peyton Manning be blamed? Because
all of a sudden he got us, and he and Jeff Daniels were all of a sudden, the curse is lifted. Oh, thanks, Peyton Manning, for lifting the curse. Like, they haven't done anything yet. We haven't won a Super Bowl. So if we end up not, and we all of a sudden this window does close, and we do not win a Super Bowl, I'm mad at Peyton Manning.
And Jeff Daniels.
I like Daniels. He's a good guy. He's from Michigan. Daniel R. Patterson next. Big 3 basketball was a cool event this weekend in Detroit. How does Big 3 fit in the pro basketball landscape? Chris Allen had a good game. How many Spartans play in the Big 3?
I don't know. And, some people like it. I don't ever watch it. I have very little interest.
Zero.
I don't want to watch half-court basketball, number one, and I just don't have.
Would you watch the guys if they played full court?
Probably not this time.
Right.
Yeah. I'd be more likely. Yeah.
These things all just come down to, are there players you want to watch?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't watch.
Do you want to watch Lance Stevenson?
Every once in a while, I'll watch the TBT, the tournament where you get former college teams, alumni teams that kind of get together, and I'll watch like the final of that because $1 million at stake there. That's kind of once in a while. You get to the depths of July topic time, and I'll watch one of those games for a little while.
But even if you put like $5 million on the championship game of it, it's still, like you said, it's half court, and you're like, all right,
for the Big 3, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Couch on. If you enjoy it, cool. Couch on Fire, July time. I was on the same flight as Coach K out of Metro during the Battier signing. He sat in coach and wore a workout athletic suit. While next to each other at baggage claim, I asked him about Izzo and that maybe we'd meet in a Final Four soon. No. 1999. Just got a smirk.
Sat in coach. Coach K and coach. Maybe that's what you got to do with your coach. No, I'm kidding. That didn't work.
What year was this?
99.
What's he doing riding in coach in 99?
Sold out flight. Something happened. You'd think he had a status. That's weird.
It's in here with you peasants. No.
It's a good story.
Coach K got bumped. Jake Hoggins next. Number 1, Fox signing Dave Portnoy is a dumbass move. It's no way similar to Pat McAfee being on game day because Portnoy didn't play college or pro football. It's bad enough Fox dictates when games will be played, like how they robbed Penn State of a night whiteout game versus Ohio State. And 2, even if I guess when MSU football becomes good again, keep Dave Portnoy and Fox's big noon kickoff with all their propaganda the hell out of East Lansing. I'll expect noon games being played on Big Ten Network or streaming platform only like Peacock or Paramount Plus. 3, great gutsy and grit win from the Tigers last night, but typical ESPN bias being shown again, with them reporting and speculating on Skubal getting $400 million from either the Yankees, Dodgers, or Mets. Now is not the time for that shit.
Jake is not happy. But if that is the number, if the Tigers aren't going to do that number, then they need to spend it elsewhere, and they need to explain why.
Yep.
That's the people.
Let's hear it from Pizza Boy.
Yep. He's a pretty damn special pitcher. So it's not like the Tigers are broke. They're selling out the stadium. It's not a small market. It is not a small market, and don't let anybody tell you it is.
Hans Jurgen, number 1, had a chilled cherry cheesecake donut at Fox's, a local bakery in Nashville. It was so good I orgasmed in my pants.
Be careful. I did not pre-read Hans's this time, so I'm a little concerned.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
2, Javi Baez last got a walk during the Reagan administration. And 3, the Epstein files will reveal the explanation of the Max Bullough suspension and nothing else. Bonus, if I don't have Couch in the Rube as an outlet for my vulgarities, I will go mad.
Well, we try to give you that, Hans. Sometimes I have to take a few of them out. Like I would say half of what Hans writes gets in. Maybe a little more than that. sometimes it's just like, that's not the tone we want to set. Even if because we do swear more than I would like sometimes, because I think about like you're listening to a podcast in your car with like your 4-year-old, and there's
what the fuck are you doing with a 4-year-old listening to this podcast in the car? The 4-year-old doesn't even know what's going on anyway.
Right, but you got to have it's a 6-year-old. It's a 6-year-old. Well, you're in the car.
Come on.
And we want people to listen
about
to the
4-year-olds.
If their only chance to listen to the podcast is when they have their 6-year-old in the car, they shouldn't have to fucking put the AirPods in. Anyway, but some of the stuff that Hans says is even beyond where you can explain an F-bomb, but everything else is it's like, oh my God, we can't have that.
Speaking of the cherry cheesecake donut, we were in Nashville and saw this same place. I refused to go because of Groovy Donuts.
Yeah, you can't cheat on Groovy
T
Donuts.
Took a picture of the place and sent it to Andrew and mine. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't want to go in. I can't do it. Absolutely not. Upper Deck Jerk Guy. Number 1. You should do 3 quick takes of the show at the end of every show.
We can't even remember the first half of the show. It would be very difficult. Yeah,
I told a terrible story about my diabetic thing. Got it all wrong. That's pretty much take 1. 2, it seems like it's time for the mic to drop off the arm and spill your drink onto your computer again.
Yeah, I have a Fresca can, but maybe I can. Yeah.
You definitely need to get. What was the other bit that you had going on where the your laptop charger would fall out?
Yeah, I got a new one.
Right.
And that
was a great bit.
And the mic seems to be hanging on here. I do check it every day now. Like it's the first thing I do. I get nervous.
Smart.
Yeah. We appreciate all of you and hanging with us in July, and hope we're not too annoying this month. We'll be back Friday with your Groovy Donut. What day is it? Monday. We'll be back middle of the week. I don't even know what day it is. We'll be back Wednesday. Today's Monday. Back Wednesday, and we'll talk then. We appreciate. We'll also be back Friday. We appreciate our friends at Xfinity, Comcast, and of course Midtown Brewing Company. Keep in mind 90s themed trivia at Midtown Brewing Company at the end of the month, July 31st. Jason?
Yeah.
Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roof.
Yep.